Hey guys, another flashlight review. This one is the 4Sevens MiNi AA, the second generation, the one with the XPG2 emitter in it. Yes, it's a little bit brighter than the first generation. I really like this light. If you don't have time to watch the whole review, I realize that some of my reviews are a little bit longer than some people might like, but overall, this is a good flashlight. I definitely recommend it. Anyway, I'll get into some specs now. The overall light is 3 inches long and about 0.7 inches in diameter, which is a good size for a AA light in my opinion. Without a battery it is 0.7 ounces, which is obviously pretty light, but I don't see why you would carry it without a battery. They're 1.6 ounces with an Eneloop battery, which is what I got in here, a nice rechargeable nickel metal hydride. With those you do get longer run times. They are slightly less bright, but I think that with the XPG2 and being 25 or 20% more efficient than the regular XPGs, I think it's about the same brightness as the first generations, but you'll get longer run times. They might even be brighter. I mean, I haven't really tested that. I don't have a first generation one, but I mean, it's a good light. You really won't notice any difference between the two, I'm sure. As far as brightness goes, run times you would notice. Speaking of run times and modes, on low, this is about 3.1 lumens, which you can get for 60 hours of constant use if you wanted to. I don't see why you would leave it on for 60 hours, but who knows, maybe you turned it on, you forgot it in a bag, and it just sat there waiting to be used, sadly forgotten, but I don't know. You'd have 60 hours to find it before it ran out of batteries. Medium is 30 lumens at 8 hours, and high is 118 lumens at 1.3 hours, so about an hour and 20 minutes if my math is correct just now in my head. If not, feel free to correct me. Strobe on this, like again, this being a 4.7's light, it does have the hidden modes just like the Preon, so you gotta quickly twist it through the low, medium, high cycles twice before you get to the modes. So low, medium, high, and strobe. So you get that, and then you'd have SOS, and then beacon high, and beacon low. The low and high beacons blink, I believe it's 5 times really quick, and then they blink once every 10 seconds, so you get pretty good run times with those. The strobe will last you 4 hours on full brightness. It's a full brightness strobe. All the strobe, SOS, and beacon high are all high modes. The SOS will last you 12 hours, which is plenty of time, honestly. The high mode will last you 20 hours on beacon, and the low beacon will last you 100 hours, which is a freaking long time. Yeah, so the run times on this are pretty good. They'll be even longer with a nickel metal hydride battery, or I'm assuming a lithium AA, and they'll be even brighter too. But yeah, you have plenty of time and plenty of brightness with this, so that's always good. A couple things about the light: it does have a glass lens, which is really good for transmitting light. It's better than a plastic lens, which you see on a lot of cheaper, lower quality flashlights. The lens does have an AR coating, anti-reflective, so you get even more light to pass through, which is really great. So yeah, this thing is pretty much optimized for good light output. It uses good quality materials. The finish on this is pretty good anodizing. It hasn't worn off at all. I've had this for like 2 months now, carried it a couple times, or a little bit more than a couple times, for a couple weeks on end. Yeah, the finish is holding up. The knurling is really good. It definitely makes one-handed operation easy. Yeah. It's also really smooth, which, well, I don't want to say really smooth. It's kind of in between. Yeah, it's not like super smooth like, I mean, this Meritech, it's awesome. It feels like it's just rubber on rubber. It's great. This one, there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, it's a little bit rough, but it's not bad at all. It doesn't cause any issues. The light turns on right as the threading stops being able to twist, so the contact points on this are really good, which is always a plus. This can tail stand, which is really nice, especially for those beacon modes or SOS modes. It's got the flat bottom with the small lanyard attachment hole, which not a big fan of the way that looks, but it's not an issue. I much prefer it over the way that Meritech did theirs, with the little loops around, like the actual wire that goes around. Yeah, you can fit a small lanyard that comes with this in through there and kind of loop it around itself, or you could, I'd imagine, buy some small string, but I don't see why you would. You know, making your own lanyard for this might be a little bit tough. You can also put this on a split ring, which I imagine is what most people would do that for, and then add a lanyard to that. So I guess it's not really a lanyard hole, it's just a general attachment hole, which sounds a little sinister, but that's okay. As you can see, this has got knurling all over the body of the flashlight, even on the back here. Don't see why you would need the knurling back there, but who knows. Maybe I just haven't figured that out yet. Maybe you're holding it back here and you really can't let go. You need that extra grip. That's just ridiculous to think about, though. It's got an orange peel reflector, which is better textured than has more texturing than the Prion, but I can't really speak to how the first generation of these were, so maybe this isn't like something new. Maybe all AA lights come like this from the 4Sevens. It appears to be a little bit heavier stippled, has more heavy, sorry, I can't speak, has more heavy stippling than the Meritech AA, so you get a little bit smoother of a kind of wall of light when you're far away, kind of projects well. This does look very blue on camera, that's just because of the white balance setting on this, but it's a pretty neutral tint to the light. I know some people are tint snobs, some people only like warm white, some people like neutral, some people like the high CRI. If you're not into flashlights, that means nothing to you. You just have a nice bright LED flashlight, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Let's see, what else is there? There's oh right, there's reverse polarity, which is always a nice feature to have, so you don't fry your light if you put the battery in the wrong way. I mean, it's kind of, you have to be really not thinking to do that, but it's always a nice little feature to have. It's very idiot-proof, I guess. This does use pulse width modulation for its regulation of brightness, which that sounds really fun to say. Regulation of brightness through pulse width mod. That's a tongue twister. Sorry, I'm rambling. It's very late. It's like almost midnight when I'm doing this. I do all my videos kind of late at night when everyone's asleep, so they don't think I'm weird. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, PWM to control the output levels, which is not the most efficient way to do it, but you do get a very consistent tint with that, whereas you can see on something like the Quantum DD that it has a very, let's see, kind of different tint here than it does all the way up. In person, it's almost like a greener light, and then as you ramp up the brightness, the tint changes as more electricity passes through it. So this one you get a consistent color and tint on all brightness settings, which is just kind of nice. I mean, the pulse width modulation is not noticeable at all to the naked eye, especially if you're not waving it around like that, you know. You really need to be looking for it to find it. I know that bugs some people, it used to bug me, but when it's done right, you can hardly notice it. Like, I didn't know the Prion was pulse width modulation until just a couple days ago, and that blew my mind, because I never knew that. You could really not tell. Anyway, so all in all, this is a pretty good light. Sorry this review is kind of sloppy. Yeah, I'm really tired. I'm going to actually head to bed while these are uploading and get some rest for tomorrow. Yeah. Like I said, all in all, it's a good light. Definitely recommend it. It's a very good AA sized light. I was looking for something like this for a long time, and when I found it, I was really taken by surprise by quality of it and the overall look. I really like the look of it, so that's just good. If you want a comparison, this is almost exactly the same size as the Meritech AA. There is only a hair bit of difference, and the 4Sevens is just a slight bit longer, but yeah, there's pretty much the same design, and this one is brighter and has more modes. This one simpler, but I don't know, I like this light more than that one, but that's just because this is, I don't know, this is like a very, very good, almost like the best the Meritech AA could be as far as its tint, its quality control, its fit and finish, everything. So I'm going to have a review on this eventually. Spoiler alert, it's going to be a pretty positive one. Yeah. One thing I will say, that one kind of rattles. That one does too, never mind. I was going to say, I didn't know if it was that, but anyway, this is going on longer than it should. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, this was a really sloppy video, but I'm too tired to redo it, so I hope you enjoyed it.